Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Laura Housman. It's great to have everyone here this evening. Thank you for joining us, I'm just going to start with some remarks in honor of this evening's event. Good evening, fellow alumni, friends, faculty, and our special honoree, Dean Bob Meenan, and his lovely wife, Yana. Dean Meenan, it is a bittersweet evening for us. You have given us so much of yourself to BU and our School of Public Health that it is hard to imagine thinking of BUSPH without you. Many of you here tonight may know that Dean Meenan is a double terrier, an impressive feat graduating from the medical school and the Graduate School of Management. Mind you, this isn't as prestigious as being a triple terrier. But it is noteworthy all the same. Especially inspiring is Dean Meenan's tenure as dean, the longest serving across all of BU's 16 schools and colleges, 22 years in all. His affiliation with BU began as a faculty member in 1977 and carries forward to his new position, reporting to President Brown and taking on university-wide initiatives beginning in January. After his initial dalliances with Harvard and Berkeley, which can be forgiven, he clearly caught BU fever, even sending both of his children to BU. And we're all the better and wiser as a result of his catching that fever. In addition to honoring Dean Meenan this evening, we each have the opportunity to support the Robert F. Meenan Career Development Professorship, providing rising junior faculty with a 3-year appointment to kickstart their research careers and scholarly endeavors. I invite you to join me in giving back and honoring Dean Meenan by contributing to this worthy program. There are envelopes available on the side table, and I'm sure Leslie and Michael will be able to direct you further. And now I turn to my fellow alum and friend, Iris Davis, to share some impressive statistics about the School of Public Health under Dean Meenan's leadership over the years.
I'm old, I gotta put my glasses on. I was honored when I was asked to speak tonight about Bob Meenan and tell you what a great guy he is, and shower him with accolades. I was given an outline to follow that basically said really nice things about Bob. But little did they know, I'd never follow a script. So there goes that speech. I'm here to tell you about the Bob Meenan I know. Scared, aren't you, Bob? I have known Bob long enough to say that when we first met, we played the game we both loved, basketball, and played it pretty well. And now we play a pathetic version of golf, and I am sure we will still be friends when we most likely will be feeding our competitive juices by playing a pathetic version of wheelchair croquet. Bob took the helm of the BU School of Public Health when the school was in its infancy and moved the school into young adulthood. After 22 years as the Dean of the School of Public Health, by the way, the longest serving dean of the 16 schools and colleges of Boston University. SPH has gone from an enrollment of 400 in the school's first few years to an enrollment of over 1,000. SPH has not only seen an increase in enrollment, but also an expanded research support and research fellows. The budget has increased from $8 million to $85 million. Bob really only worked that hard so SPH would move up in the US News and World Report rankings. We all know how important that periodical is. Bob has brought a culture to the school that shouts excellence. Excellence in the classroom and in the research labs. What he has done for the school can't be measured in a few short speeches or moments, but in the impression and imprint he has made on the BU School of Public Health and the community it serves. I first met Bob at an alumni board dinner at one of the board members' homes. He walked in with a 6-pack of very good craft beer. At that moment, I knew we were going to be good friends. Bob, thank you for your leadership, your friendship, and hard work in making the School of Public Health at BU the best school of public health in the country. Thank you. And now Mickey Amanti, my friend, is going to finish up with a few words.
I told her I'd buy her a drink from the bar if she said that. Anyway, welcome to all of you. We really appreciate you for being here. And of course, we appreciate Bob Meenan. Being here at the castle brings in a lot of old memories for us, especially the old board members, who are still young, by the way. But we used to have networking events here, and we did a lot of networking right here before the restrooms. So don't forget to line up. But yeah, that's how you got your job, right? Anyway, and Bob Meenan was here throughout during the annual breakfast meetings we used to have. We used to give out awards here, so it has a very special memory that we come back here to honor Dean Meenan. He is still supportive of our alumni group here. He attended a lot of our alumni board meetings, as Iris just mentioned, and the only incentive was we do have to have beer for him. Like everybody, we used to go to each other's homes at the beginning when we were a small group and say, oh, Bob is coming, make sure you have beer. So we made sure we had beer.
Good beer.
Good beer, yes. And then as we grew, we had our alumni board meetings at the school. And then at that time, they still said, make sure Bob is coming, make sure we have beer at the room. So that was always the incentive. So as our alumni breakfast award started here, there was no beer in breakfast. So we decided, as we were growing from 400 alumni to now 6,500 alumni, according to the website, in 50 states and worldwide, we decided through Bob Meenan's leadership that he would give the awards at APHA, where there'll be more people being recognized for their work. So we've had great alumni events. We have great awards. He's been terrific as our dean for the alumni. And I hope all of you were here last year in Boston at the ICA. That was his idea, which was a great, excellent event. And he always travels everywhere to meet our alumni as we are really growing and getting closer together. And we're very proud of what he has done for us as alumni. So we do appreciate all your time, effort, and support that our Dean Meenan has given us. And by the way, he has given approximately 57 Distinguished Alumni Awards, pretty close to 57, and 5 overall University BU Awards, which is competing with all the other schools. So this is really exciting for the alumni to be awarded such prestigious awards through Bob Meenan's leadership for 22 years and 22 days? Anyway, so as you know, BU School of Public Health recognizes alumni achievements by presenting the Distinguished Alumni Awards. So we decided as alumni to also present you with an award. And I would like to read that for you, if you can come up here. So to Bob Meenan, this is the first Dean Award ever given to a Dean. And this award recognizes Robert F. Meenan's 22 years of leadership, guidance, and support to the School of Public Health and BU. He already read the last line, that's why he's laughing. During his position as the longest serving Boston University Dean and tallest. And for being the best dean ever. On behalf of all of us, I'd like to
Thank you.
Appointed, very good. To join me and us in toasting not only an accomplished, dedicated public health leader and professional, but clearly, as you've just heard, the best dean ever, our dean, Dean Meenan.
Well, I'm never being at a loss for words. I've prepared a 60-minute speech here. So, but first, I really want to thank Laura, Iris, and Mickey for their comments, and I really want to thank all of you for being here tonight. It's a midweek night. You have many things to do. The weather's not great, and I really do appreciate you coming to this event tonight. With that positive thing, now let me turn cranky and correct a few statements that each of these ladies made. First of all, Laura said my association with BU started in 1977. It actually started in 1968. Think about that. I started as a medical student in 1968, and I was saying to somebody last week, they had a event for me for the school up in the Hebert Lounge, and my first memory of that was my medical school class was the first class to use that building, and we had anti-Vietnam teach-ins in the Hebert Lounge back in like 1969. So being there at the beginning and the end was really a nice feeling. And I also want to point out that Laura mentioned Double Terrier, and my kids went to school and it hasn't stopped in the Meenan family. My wife Yana just finished her MSW degree from BU, so I tried to convince her to do the dual degree, but she said she had heard rumors about the dean at the School of Public Health. And then in Iris, Iris painted this rosy picture of how we all got along and played sports, and she failed to mention the time that I wanted to kill her. The first time I wanted to kill her, there were many. I love to play basketball, and Iris is a great basketball player. Iris was written up in Sports Illustrated. I was so bummed. And so, what can I say? I'll never match it, But, what I thought she was going to say is that, and I actually prepared the line for her, that it's nice Bob is now, stepping down from the dean's job and will have more time. Now he can practice his golf, and maybe by the end of the next year he can outdrive me 1 out of 5 times. But she was kind enough not to say that.
It's your night.
Right. And Mickey, I want to correct an important, and very probably you made the biggest mistake of all. Of course you drink beer at breakfast. So Jan and I traveled to Europe this summer, actually with Mark Prashker and his wife, and we landed in Prague on our first stop. And it was late in the afternoon, we were jet lagged, so we went to a grocery store just to buy stuff. And Mark Prashker doesn't drink. And I went to the beer counter and got a bunch of beer. And he said to me, Bob, how are you going to drink all this beer? We're only here for 4 days. And I said, I'm going to start at breakfast tomorrow morning. So the next morning, we had an English-speaking guide come in and to take us around. And he walks in, and I'm sitting there drinking a beer. I had a nice 26-ounce bottle of Pilsner Urquell. And he looks at me and he says, are you drinking beer for breakfast? And I said, yes, I am. And he said, you are really going to fit in here in Prague. So I asked him if he would like a beer for breakfast. He said, of course. So, it all worked from there. So anyway, I just want to say what a great time I have had. And I really appreciate all the positive comments and so forth. But basically, I had a great time. And it's because the School of Public Health had this incredible culture. It really is a remarkable organization. It's got a compelling mission. It's got wonderful goals and objectives. It's got caring community. And I was lucky enough to become the dean and just was able to ride it. And I've often said that a sign that it's better to be lucky than good is I think becoming dean of the School of Public Health when I did was like somebody buying Microsoft stock, the first week it came out. You can look back and say, oh yeah, I knew, and I held it and I was just really smart. Well, I know I contributed some to the success of the school, but basically it's the whole community, the students, the faculty, the alumni, and fundamentally it's mostly just what public health does. It really makes for a wonderful, caring community and a real drive. And I think for most people in public health, myself included, when you wake up in the morning, you don't think, why am I doing this? And that's a wonderful blessing. So I mentioned it, and I don't mean to make light of it, but this best dean ever, I will say, is absolutely true. Now, seriously, because this is a little bit, I'm the only dean ever. And so for some of you who don't know this, it's a remarkable time of transition. Norman Scotch died last week at 86, and Norman had a remarkable career and a wonderful retirement, and he laid the foundation for everything that happened afterwards. And I said to Leonard Glantz the other day, I was talking to him, that When I came in, I realized that the school had a wonderful culture. You know, Norman was the first one to say that this school is about teaching, et cetera, and basically my primary job was not screwing it up. So Norman did a remarkable job, and so now we have essentially three transitions. We have the first dean who has died, we have a second dean, me, who is departing, and we have a third dean, Sandro Galea, who is debuting. So Sandro is taking over as of January 1. I've had a number of interactions with him. He's been around the school a lot. And I said quite honestly that I was very impressed that when they found him, that he is younger than I am when I took the job, and he's way more accomplished. Right? And I think he really is just the right person to take over as dean. So I'm very excited about the prospects for the school and how it will go into the future. So finally, just let me thank the alumni. You guys have been spectacular. We depend on our alumni so much, particularly working with our students, referring applicants to us, helping our students with practica, helping our students find jobs, working with career services. So all of you who have done that, I thank you. All of you who are younger alumni, I invite you to line up and help the next generation behind you connect into public health. Financial support for the school has been spectacular and growing. So it's just been a real part of the recipe for success that I've been able to depend on was to depend on the alumni. And, most of you are really, really good. Some of you, Iris, Laura, not so much, but it's been a great ride. I've recognized that there's sort of a numerological element here, that when I step down on January 1st, I will have served 22 years and 2 months. Which strikes me as a really nice, neat way to wrap it up. So I thank you for your kind wishes and your kind words. I wish you great luck in riding the school even further. And as somebody said, from the alumni perspective, one of the things that I can be most proud of is your degree is worth a lot more now than it was when I started. So thank you very much. Thank you.